Hi, you are watching SightsIn Plus, and this is Romesh. Please to subscribe the channel for the HR news, for HR updates, and conversation with the top-notch CHROs, thought leaders, and business heads. After a long time, we are back with this video, and today we are going to discuss about the next phase of AI adoption. Absolutely, we are over with the pilot project, with the pilot adoption of AI, and most of the companies are at the emerging or scaling stage of the AI adoption right now. So, joining us, two esteemed panelists, Mr. Harjeet Khanduja is author, is a speaker, and senior vice president with the Reliance Geo, and Mr. Daya Prakash. Mr. Daya Prakash is founder of TalentOnLease and former chief information officer with the LG. So, welcome both of you to Sites and Plus.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
So,
Romesh.
Thanks for
Harjeet,
having
if
me.
you look at the background of why I have chosen what inspired me to pick up this topic. So, recently we have seen a couple of news, if I refer, one is by the SAP, and SAP, they are talking about some investment budget, and so that's why they have also chosen to cut the cost. They have tightened their hiring, and whatever the hiring would be there, that is for the selected positions, and these positions mostly that would be for AI role. So this is the one. Second, Meta, they have also their CEO Mark Zuckerberg, he has also stated that the speed of developing the AI agent has been slow, what was expected earlier, and they have also done some workforce restructuring, and there is some misalignment. So this is a challenge. So I think these are the some informations which inspired me to pick up this topic. And another news is also there. So that is related to hiring. What the Naukri, they did a survey, and according to this survey, they see the IT industry. If they talk about, so IT industries might be little down, but the AI hiring is good. Every company is looking for the AI hiring. How do you see the current challenges in this scenario with the adoption of AI in scale? What are the challenges? Maybe related to the costing, maybe related to the workforce. So how do you see? How do you see the this complete scenario?
So, Romeshji, I will say this is less of a challenge, more of an opportunity. Uh, if you see this whole piece more holistically, so you will find that every decade we get a new technology or a new technological disruption. AI is one of the technological disruptions. Um, if you remember ERPs when they came, or even computers when they came, there was a similar kind of discussion at that point in time also. Now, if you see how much time companies took to convince bank employees to adopt computers, it was 30 years. The resistance of people was for 30 years. And when SAP actually came up with ERP, and when for the very first time ERP word was coined in 1990s, it took industry almost 5 to 10 years to adopt ERP. So companies take lesser time in adopting technology, and people take more time. And till now, what has been happening is first all these big things come to companies and then go to people. So the responsibility of doing the change management is with companies. With AI, it started with people. The disruption, as of now, if you ask people, companies were not prepared. What has started happening is a few investors, a few companies brought in certain products on AI, and everyone started using them. A lot of companies got caught off guard that, oh, this is something which is being used. and they were not able to fathom what is happening. How do I govern this? They are taking my data and putting it in some engines. How do I control that? So companies are still coming to terms with something which has been adopted by employees. So this is something which investors have done. First, taking employees or people on board. Now, in this process, what has happened is they have invested a lot of money. And after investing a lot of money, and when they see that millions of people are there on the AI platforms and they are using AI platforms, now they're asking for ROI. And everyone is asking for ROI. The amount of money we have invested in this, what is the return on it? Problem is, business has not been able to figure out what are the use cases. And the way expectations have been built, expectations are huge. So AI at places is falling short of those expectations because the kind of hype which was created, that hype uh, took off that resistance from people, but uh, it has created expectations in the mind of business people that AI can do everything. And frankly speaking, it is not able to do everything. And the question on ROI is coming, and that is why uh, the question which you asked arose. That is my take on it.
Right, right. I think you have highlighted a very important point that employees take time to adopt the change. So that is also maybe not only the technology, there's a new technology, so that the change is there. And yesterday I was talking to somebody who is working with the IT company, and I asked how is going on in your company. Is your company also firing some of the employees? He said, उसको ही फायर कर रहे हैं जो सीखना नहीं चाह रहा है AI.
Hmm.
This was the statement of that guy. So coming to you, Mr. Daya, how do you see connecting with this statement that उसको ही फायर कर रहे हैं जो सीखना नहीं चाह रहा है? This is the one. And how do you see with workforce? One is the adoption of AI by the employees, and how it is, changing the role, changing the jobs, and the requirement in a company. How it is impacting this day.
Yeah, thank you so much, Romesh. I think you started with the very first question, which was very provocative, and I completely agree with the views shared by Harjeet ji. It's a challenge, AI adoption for sure, and at the same time, I completely agree with what Harjeet ji said that it's a big opportunity for organizations today to leverage AI and then do wonders, and all that is possibility. But I think why I say that today is a situation where both of you stand correct, because it's an opportunity, but it's a challenge also, that large organizations are today facing while scaling the AI adoption in their enterprise, in their organization. I think the challenge is twofold in my mind, and Harjeet ji touched upon this point very briefly, saying that what is the outcome of the AI adoption that organization has done, because it takes huge cost, and so far, unfortunately, fortunately, things have been kind of available on a free model more than anything else, because you know very rightly mentioned by Harjeet ji, the whole strategy taken by these companies was to get some buy-in from the employees rather than going to the companies and getting adoption from there. I think that's kind of the good starting point. But the bad part is that now the companies who also provided the platforms are realizing the fact that they are incurring a huge cost on it, and is in order to sustain it the way it is happening today, they need, very deep pockets, and nobody has that kind of deep pockets, right? I think we have reached to the end there. But from an organization point of view, if I have to say, in my mind, there are two reasons why the adoption on the large scale is not happening, is because of two reasons. One, I think the risk governance and compliance. These are the the first set of attributes, I would say, which are basically making or compelling companies to think about, who owns the AI decisions, right? what if we rely blindly on the AI, is it going to, make it safe for us as an organization, or it's going to make it very, very risky for us? And those unforeseen situations, how do we handle those unforeseen situations, right? Data governance, all these kind of, issues associated with it. So that's one dimension, which again, risk compliance and governance in my mind. The other, the issue is that the AI, remember the time when we moved away from the analog world to digital world, and there this was, said that we are connected more with the people, but I would call it like that connection, as a hollow connection, right? Because it actually kind of made us far from each other, as opposed to bringing us closer in the sense that we could actually reach out to anybody and everybody. But end of the day, as a human, as psychology, as we, philosophy we follow, we always go by trust, right? And as a human, I think even if AI has, kind of AI organizations or platforms have got buy-in from the employees, we still, three of us, would like to talk to each other. There is a possibility today, by virtue of adopting technologies, we could have created three agents for today's conversation, right? And that would not have, helped anybody, right? So I think these are the two primary things in my mind, which is kind of slowing down the large scale adoption by the organization. Cost has always already been mentioned by Harjeet ji, so I'm not repeating on that. But these are like three, four factors in my mind. Having said that, you know, the AI adoption that we see today is again a people experimentation, right? Rather, it's an organizational initiative whereby the organization have thought about a particular process or a business function, that how they can redo or outdo that whole function or process in such a way that AI brings in wonders there to support that business. So that is yet to happen. It is more driven by people. It is an incremental automation in my mind versus the true AI adoption in the organization. So there are very little organizations who have gone for AI implementation or adoption, but more on a next level of automation in my mind.
Right, right. So risk compliance and governance, I think these are very two valid points. And coming back to you, Harjeet, so as we discussed about that, this is a transformation. This is a complete transformation, and now when we are talking about the workforce alignment, realignment, or restructuring, whatever you call, so restructuring, whatever you call. So how do you see here? The role as a CHRO, as a HR head? How do you see what are the responsibilities on the shoulders of CHROs when we are talking about the scaling of AI adoption?
One aspect is technology itself that should be there, and CHROs or HR people play a very critical role, and most of the businesses are struggling with finding out what the use cases are, and HR can help in finding those use cases. How? Uh, I call this CGPT, which is short form of Chat GPT. So first is you can cross leverage knowledge. How to cross leverage knowledge? There are different people who are using the same AI tools for different purposes. So when they're using for different purposes, start publishing success stories of one person to another, and you will find that people will start learning from each other. In this kind of environment, look, one of the there are there are twofold uh, outcomes of this entire uh, AI implementation. One benefit is when your environment is booming with the with AI usage in day-to-day use, so that your productivity and speed of your business goes multifold, and that way you benefit from AI. Second is Based on the AI technologies which are available, products are getting built, and you implement those products, and you smoothen your processes in such a manner that your processes are delivering better outcomes. It is like somebody has made a Ferrari and you have bought a Ferrari, but then you are saying, now in Delhi, where should I run my Ferrari? Because roads are not that good or roads are not that wide. So you have Ferrari, but in organization, if you have to run that Ferrari, your processes have to be like that. And second is the drivers you want, those drivers should be good. They should know how to run the Ferrari. So for drivers, as I said, the methodology is CGPT. First is cross leverage knowledge. Second is start setting stretch goals. So moment your goal setting process brings in that factor of that now I want speed. So goals are going to be tougher. That will push people to adopt AI and the other technological tools which are available. Third is provide a safe space. Make sure that your policies are such that people are feeling psychologically safe in using those. Many a times there is a stigma, oh, you are using AI for preparing the documents. Or it is like, how can you upload data in a chat GPT or a similar AI engine? What data you can upload, what you can't upload? Do you have an in-house tool where where people don't have to think twice on what they are uploading and what they are not? And fourth is availability of these tools in-house, so that uh, people can lay their hands on them. So if you put all these things together, as HR person, you will be able to create that environment and help business in improving the speed, which is going to turn into the ROI for all these AI initiatives.
Nice, nice. I think to help in finding the use cases, that is excellent, absolutely. And when you're talking about the processes, you also written a very wonderful article, AI native thinking. So that I think also
Hmm.
applies here. So that native thinking is also in need of an hour with all the organizations. So they start working on this. So, Mr. Daya, now coming to another aspect, which is as we are talking about the workforce restructuring, we are talking about the roles, as we are talking that AI is not eliminating jobs, it is changing the rules. Somehow we are also talking like this. How do you see how it is impact, how it is changing the jobs? How do you see the job market with the adoption of AI?
Sure, Romesh. I think we are living in very, very interesting times today. I think if I recall the biggest the change that industry had kind of witnessed in the past would be the advent of computers and the advent of internet, right? So these are the two kind of events, big events in my mind, in my memory, and this is the third wave that we have in front of us, sitting in front of us. What had happened is that in the first two waves also there were similar apprehensions, right? It's more to do with this being more destructive than constructive, right? So one very quick input on the last question that you had asked, Harjeet ji, and the role of CHRO. I think he has explained it beautifully, right? Because it's a combination of people, process, technology, and we are talking about technology. But the role of CHRO is very, very important today because look at the AI adoption in the organization today. There is this mindset of board, let's say, hypothetically, wherein the board is looking at AI as an avenue where they can actually cut down their workforce by half or whatever, right? I mean, that's the way it is being looked upon as of now, right? On the other side, these people who have who have been in the organization understand the processes of the organization, working of the organization better than anybody else, and have this distinct value that they bring to the table for the organization are worried a lot because who knows that it could be they are the next people to kind of sail through that wave of layoffs uh, in some sense, right? So I think the onus and the responsibility on CHRO is very big today, where they balance these two dynamics, right? The expectations from the board and the apprehensions of the employees down below the line, to kind of get them on same platform and show them this as an opportunity where people can collaborate and in fact upgrade themselves to the next level of skills that are going to be required by the organization, no matter whether we agree or not agree as an employee, right? We could be completely unaware of it, or maybe ignorant, saying that it is not going to impact me. Trust me, it is going to impact everyone, right? So 70-80% of the jobs, in fact, one of the survey you had done yourself, right? The 70 to 80% of the jobs of today are going to change with the involvement of AI, or the adoption of AI. So everybody has to adopt that change. So I think the CHRO has that responsibility today. At the same time, on the workforce side, all the jobs that we are having today, as they are going to definitely change by virtue of AI adoption. It is on the individual more than the organization that they try and make themselves equipped with the skills of tomorrow, because the organizations are going to get impacted, but the individuals are going to get impacted heavily, right? So those who will adopt AI will find themselves, not just surviving but thriving. But those who kind of have the ignorant view today will be definitely people who will fall in the pool that suffers of this AI adoption wave. So I think skills like critical thinking, right? And those where there is this human touch is very, very, very important, be it empathy or anything. All these things where the employees can adopt AI or maybe leverage AI to better, uh, you know, perform their job on a day-to-day basis. They are more relevant, and they are going to be less worried in the crowd, and also be growing in their career. That's the least that I could say about it.
Really, absolutely. So that is also the responsibilities of employees. They must prepare themselves for this changing job roles or changing scenario, and for the technology. So if they want to stay relevant, so absolutely. So Harjeet, coming to you with the almost similar question, that as the organizations are also facing the challenge how to prepare the workforce, and that is also the responsibility of employees, how they get trained, how they take interest, how they prepare themselves. Otherwise बाहर जाइए, this is only the way. Either you get prepared, otherwise वो आपको बाहर किया जाएगा. This is only the way. So how do you see how the organizations are putting their effort, and how they can prepare the workforce so that this transformation can be speed up?
What I have seen is most of the organizations generally think in this manner that get me AI trained workforce. Now, thing is, there is no AI trained workforce in the market based on what your processes are, and you don't need a AI trained workforce. AI is a tool. People should be AI fluent, and they should know your processes, and uh, it is like the business transformation role which is required more now, and AI fluency is something which is important for each and every employee who is there in the organization. Now, how do you train all these employees? Very simple. Uh, you have to make sure it is like running a fitness program. The way you were saying, if you can't learn, move out. So when you are creating an environment where people want to learn with each other, and where like-minded people are there who help each other in becoming AI fluent, and if you're creating that kind of environment, then whosoever is not ready to learn, you have to tell them, look, this is the only way. Uh, Second is, a lot of people say, I want this guy, bring this guy to me. Just ask that guy whether that guy is ready to work with you or not. Because it depends upon what kind of environment you have created in your own organization. Because the people who are AI native, they would not want to work with your organization if your organization is not providing those kind of opportunities. I met a guy at a test at Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and he asked me a question. He did internship somewhere. He said, "Why organizations don't use AI?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Most of the organizations use AI." He said, "No, the person I was interning with, he gave me a task. It was supposed to be a one-day task. I uploaded it on Claude, and I gave him output in 15 minutes. So then he said, no, no, you do it in Excel on your own and then bring it to me. So you tell me what is right." Now, just by listening to this, I was able to understand the problem is not with employees. The problem is with managers. The kind of stigma they attach to AI, that becomes a problem. And if you want to create that environment where people are learning, you don't have to just fix the employee part. You have to fix the manager part also, that they start believing. And you should start with managers, that the managers who believe in artificial intelligence and the power it can bring to your organization, you should have those kind of managers. And it is important to tell them that using AI is not a stigma. It is not a stigma anymore. This is something which is uh, bringing a speed. It should not be a ego issue that are you using human intelligence or artificial intelligence. It is not a fight of running faster. If you have got a bike, use the bike to reach wherever you want to reach faster, rather than saying, I will only run to it. That is not what this world is going to be. AI is the new bike. And if you are thinking that you will run to it, you will not be able to meet your targets. That's my take on it.
So, yeah, Mr. Daya, you have also, I think, seen results by the TCS company, how they have, hired around 10,000 employees. As we're talking about that hiring is very low with the IT industry. That is correct. Okay. Earlier, if you see, generally they have around 40,000 freshers. Now they are hiring only, they onboarded only 14,000. So hiring in IT industry may be low, but how do you see the trend in coming quarters in such a scenario?
So I think when we talk about this particular issue of hiring at at volumes by these organizations, and when the volume got slowed down today, we take it as a point of concern, saying that the jobs may exist, may not exist tomorrow, right? And very rarely we connect it to a point where it is all about the shift in the industry. So what has happened in the past is definitely not going to be the success mantra for tomorrow. For that, the organization have realized this, and what they are doing is assessing each and every role that they are hiring for. They have lakhs of employees serving their own organization. They have to make sure that each of, and I'm talking about each, every such company, each of this company is today thinking about employee at an individual level, saying that this employee is going to be relevant, not relevant, and if the answer is not relevant, what is it that I can do to make this employee relevant for tomorrow, right? I mean, it's very easy to say that there is a layoff in the company. Believe me, what company goes through while taking this hard call, they only knows because they have invested in the individual for many, many years, and it's not easy for the company. The best thing for the company is to first figure out how do we make sure that this employee is relevant and is adding value to the organization, and in turn, organization is adding value to the client that they serve, right? But what is happening is now is there is a shift that is happening, and these are like the two things that companies are thinking. One, they definitely want to bring in the talent, the kind of scenario Harjeet ji talked about, right? Someone comes in with a traditional mindset, says that this is the work to be done and given one day, and is able to complete that work in half an hour, 15 minutes, let's say. But I would only add to that, saying that there is this person who has completed the work in, let's say, 15 minutes to 30 minutes. If that person's work is kind of reviewed together by a person who brings in the industry experience, the functional experience, the process experience, all the the best practices in the industry and the organization that he or she is talking about, if that happens, it's a clear case of AI augmentation versus AI replacing, right? And that's where we will see the adjustment in the industry for next 2 3 years, more to come, where the workforce will get adjusted. Companies will have clear idea as to what is their way to go, what is it that their final team looks like, what are the skills that they must be equipped with to serve the customers today and the customers tomorrow. So there is going to be adjustment, and we should be ready to hear these news more often than we are hearing now. And it is nothing but an alarm to each and every one, like us as an employee of the organization, no matter whatever position we hold in the organization, end of the day, we are the employee of the organization, and we have to change ourselves. We have to equip ourselves for creating us relevant for tomorrow's world, right? And that's the exact situation that gets reflected in day-to-day news that we get to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think if we try to summarize, starting, we need to find out, the organizations need to find out the use cases, how to use, what are the use cases for the AI. There's a lot of investment, no doubt, and the companies are looking for the restructuring. So accordingly, they are creating the rules. Apart from this, the employee skilling, reskilling, that is a challenge. So thank you so much, Mr. Harjeet and Mr. Daya, for joining us and sharing your wonderful thought. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Wonderful meeting you, Arjit ji. Wonderful meeting you, Romesh ji. It has been
Thank you.
pleasure
Same
being
here.
part of this discussion.